Today, we are continuing our conversations with voices from the diaspora. We have Jenny with us. She's a blogger from the UK who recently moved to Canada. So we're going to have some time to just chat with her and just kind of learn about her experience. We're like, yay! Hey, Jenny! Like, you were like, I'm trying to hit 30 destinations by 30. Like, tell us about that.
Right. So I am Jenny, also known as Gypsy Genz. I started traveling. Well, my first travel was when I was 9. And culture shock when you're 9 doesn't mean anything to you until 10 years later when you realize, oh, wow, there's a whole world out there beyond the little narrow roads that we have in London versus the palm trees and 4-lane roads that are, on the other side of the world. So first travel when I was 9. I didn't travel again for another 10 years at 19. That was a girl's trip, and life was really doing numbers at that point in time. So it was a good breakaway. But then you realize that there's a lot of things to explore outside of where you live. So that's in terms of history, in terms of culture, in terms of people. And then, the travel bug just came, and it just continued growing and growing and growing. So, I just had a burst of travel bug at like 19, and then just kept going and going. There was a short halt between 20 and 23 when life took an even further dip. And then once I got money, it was just all games on go. I then realized that, like everybody experiences being from Europe, and they say that Europe is, round the corner and everything is very close. But I was more focused on what was out on the other side of the world. So, just kept going and going and going. And here we are at destination 37.
I love it. I love it. That's what's up. So what are some of your experiences have been like? Well, first, before I even ask that question, what encouraged that move to Canada?
So when I first started traveling, it was literally just for leisure purposes. I just wanted to see further and further outside of the world and just keep going and going and going. And then I realized that there are a few places in the world that are similar to London, but they just have a different vibe to it, whether that's culture, weather, whatever the weather. So then I started traveling to see where I could live that wasn't London, but was similar to. And the two places that kept coming up were Dubai and here in Toronto. So I kept going between the two, going between the two, going between the two. And anybody that's been to Dubai, you know that their rules are just a little bit more strict than near enough anywhere else in the world. The main thing is that I wanted to be able to go somewhere that I could get permanent residency, so I could become a dual citizen. And you can't do that if you're an expat in Dubai. In the UAE, once you're an expat for life. There's nothing that you can do to become a citizen. And obviously there's benefits that you get from being a citizen versus benefits that you would get being an expat. So Canada is similar to London. The laws are similar. The rules are semi-similar. And so here we are. I tried my luck, and last year I put in an application, and literally March 15th will be a year since I put in my application, and I came in May. So
so let me tell you how I even met Gypsy Genz a couple years ago. And not even met. So this is like our first time actually live talking. Like we always talk via Instagram, of course. But I saw a photo, and I always repost photos of women traveling, Black women traveling around the world. So I saw a photo of Gypsy Genz, of Jenny, like jumping out of something in the water with a dolphin behind her. And I was like, that is so something that I would do. And I just laughed so much. So I ended up reposting that photo. And since then, I learned that she was also not from Trinidad, but background from Trinidad like me, also a Libra, and also loved Carnival. And if y'all know anything about Carnival and Carnival season, it's dope. It's dope. So when you meet other people that love Carnival, and not just any Carnival, I'm talking about Trinidad Carnival. When you meet other people that love Trinidad Carnival, you're like, you get me.
Yes. Because Trinidad is not for the faint-hearted.
It's
anybody that's been once, if you've watched anybody's stories, anything to do with Trinidad is not for the faint-hearted in any way, shape, or form. So I think the crazy thing is about us being Libras as well is there's like 1 or 2 days between us. I'm the 6th, you're the 7th.
Yeah, I'm the 8th.
8th, there you go. Yes. 2 days between us.
Yeah.
She was literally the first Black travel page to repost me, and I was so blown. I started my page maybe like 20 days before that repost, and I was like, oh my God, I was blown away. And every time I speak to her, I'm like, thanks for reposting. She's like, I love that picture so much. So yeah, it was definitely a genuine connection.
It was
When we
so
started.
me. I think that's
Yeah.
the awesome part about like just meeting people via Instagram who are travelers, because you see yourself, right? You're especially if you're a solo traveler, like you're a solo traveler as well.
Yeah.
But it's like when you look at other people traveling, there are times where I'm just like, that's me. Like I would do that, you know? And that picture was like, I would be looking that goofy, mouth open, having the time of my life.
You need
like,
to understand
joy.
the moments behind that picture. I'm still yet to like create that vlog, but for anybody that doesn't follow me, I can't swim at all. Can't even make a stroke. Can't float. And the dolphins, you start from this side and you have to tread the water to the other side. Everybody was already there like 5 minutes before waiting for me. I'm like, I'm coming.
Oh no.
And then I had to float for like all of maybe 4 or 5 seconds for the dolphin to be able to catch my feet and then go. So before the dolphin caught my feet, I was really gonna tip over. So that's why my face was like, because I couldn't believe it actually worked. Like I couldn't believe it actually worked. That was destination 30. I just had a chest infection, which I was recovering from at the beginning. I shouldn't have even been in the water. But
oh wow.
Yeah, everything behind that trip was just so memorable because of the simple fact that I was like, go hard or go home in absolutely everything. So yeah, whenever my mom sees that picture, she's just like, what were you thinking? I was like, to be honest, I wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking. Life is for living. The dolphin's either going to catch me or it's not. And if anybody has done a dolphin like swim or foot push or anything, their noses are like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like having like a car go into the soles of your feet. It's actually painful, but it's amazing at the same time. Yeah, they're very powerful. Like they literally push you through the water, then you go up, and then obviously you land smack. And I can't swim, and I'm all, yeah, but I did it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so yeah, there's a whole history behind that picture. I think that's probably one of the reasons why that means so much to me, because I know how much I struggled to get into the water to even successfully to be able for it to happen, and then to be reposted on it. It's just like, oh wow, great things do happen to regular people.
Yes.
Literally, YOLO is definitely what I was thinking.
Yes,
and then when I started that holiday started 10 destinations for 2019.
Mm-hmm.
None of which I'd booked. I had Mexico booked from 2018. Trinidad, you already know. Trinidad we booked from the year before, so I had that booked.
Yeah.
So I had Mexico booked in January, and then I had Trinidad booked in February. And then my last trip of the year was trip of a lifetime, which was 5 destinations. But I had nothing in between that. So everything that happened in between that was just do you want to go here? There's an event happening. There's something going on. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I realized halfway through the year, wait, I could actually get to 10 destinations before the end of the year. So let's go. Once I hit 30, I was like, oh, well, I might as well hit 40 destinations before 30. And then, anyways, you know what came. So here we are.
Yes.
We're still going, though, because I realized that it was a goal that I set, right? I set 30 destinations by 30. I was 28 at the time of completing it. Anything could have happened between 28 and 29. Right. But I didn't try to get to new destinations. I actually wanted to be able to stretch out and embrace everywhere that I'd gone and everything like that. So when I realized 40 was possible, I said, yeah, okay, let me try and do that. I can return to some places without any pressure. Not obviously knowing what was going to happen in 2020. But I knew that the travel fatigue that I experienced in 2019, I had to slow down. So when 2020 came, a lot of people were like, how are you feeling traveling? I was like, no, this year I had to slow down because I went to 10 different destinations. The last one in 2019 was trip of a lifetime. So that was from London to Singapore, Singapore to Hong Kong, Hong Kong to Fiji, Fiji to Melbourne, Melbourne to Sydney, Sydney to Bali, and then back to London in literally just under 4 weeks.
Wow.
And each time I was going, I was confused again. Like, I'm a traveler, but geography, I know nothing about distance. I know nothing about time zones. I couldn't believe the further out I was going, the further the time zone was going from London. It was 8 hours in Singapore, 13 hours in Fiji, 12 hours in Sydney, 11 hours in Bali. By the time I got back, I was done. And then
wow.
I still had Trinidad 3 weeks after.
How did you manage that?
I didn't. I honestly didn't. So when we came back from Trinidad, I think we got back maybe like March 3rd or something like that. COVID was non-existent in Trinidad at that point. I don't know about the rest of the world, but us lot was so high on life that COVID didn't exist. Right. So when we came back and the reality of, you know, countries like New York were shutting down because this thing was taking over, London was taking its time. The next weekend is when it happened. I think our shutdown was like maybe March 15th. I was like, wow, I actually have to rest. This is perfect. I had nothing booked for that year except for St. Lucia Carnival.
Okay.
Which, by the way, they're still holding my money 2 years later. And I haven't played mass since 2 years.
What?
And St. Lucia still have my money. So yeah, 2020 was exactly what I thought it was going to be, just not in the way that it was, the way that it came. I wouldn't have wished to have had to slow down in that point.
Gotcha.
But what that led to was a whole year of me preparing to relocate. So I just took that year to recoup all my financial gain or loss experience, however you want to explain it. Everything that I'd spent in 2019, I spent the first half of 2020 recouping that. And then the last half of 2020, I just put my life into everything that I had, everything I could put my hand in to make a change. I was doing that. All my overtime at work, I was doing that. I was just working like a dog for the whole of 2020. And then the beginning of 2021 came and I thought, okay, maybe now is the time to move. Because the program that I'm on with This Canada Move, the cheapest way and the easiest way is to do it before you turn 31.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't really have that much time. I had from January 2021 to October 5th, 2021 to make this move, not knowing if it was going to happen or not. So anybody that wants to move, I would just say in life, I don't think that there's a time for anything. I don't think there's a time to parent. I don't think there's a time to buy a house. I don't think there's a time to buy a car. If and when you could do anything, just do it then and there. Because if I didn't put my application in then, so many things have changed just even in the first 6 months that I was here, that I can't now advise anybody on the route that I came, because I came during COVID. So the stipulations that I had when I came are not now the stipulations. Are not now the stipulations now. Sorry, I'm seeing a question there. What was my favorite country from trip of a lifetime? I have to say Australia. I have to.
Really?
Yeah, because that was my dream destination. I don't know if anybody has, like, travelers have bucket lists for whatever reason. They have a bucket list of destinations. They've seen places that they want to go, places that they want to visit. My genuine reason for wanting to go to Australia was because it was the furthest place from London. You can't get any further to the other side of the world.
Really?
Yeah. And two of my favorite programs are from Australia too. Home and Away and Neighbours. So anybody that's in the UK, I just found out that they're about to axe Neighbours. Please don't tell me again. I've already cried serious tears the last 3 days. So
I don't even know those shows. I have to check them out.
I know. And this is the problem, right? I've moved out here and I can't find a way to watch them not in real time. I'm not waking up at 7 a.m. to watch my shows. Like, I love my shows, but I'm not waking up at 7 a.m. to watch them. It's not that deep.
Right.
So I got to Australia and the first thing I did was book a Neighbours tour in Melbourne. And honestly, like, this is how I looked the whole trip. Like, wow, like I'm on a TV screen. Oh my days, I've been here. Wow, I've watched this. Like, I will repost for anybody that's watching. I'll do a story tomorrow of like the highlights of that part. And then we flew to Sydney, where I then went to the other program set, which is Home and Away. And again, I'm smiling like a little child, like, wow, dreams really do come true. This is amazing.
My goodness.
But after Australia, because it was my dream destination, it has to be Fiji, because Fiji just beat all expectations. Everything you see on Google is exactly that, but like times 10. The water is that much more clearer. The sea is that much more blue. I thought that there was going to be nothing to do there. So through my time, like literally my jet lag of flying from Doha to Singapore to Hong Kong, all these different time zones, as we were getting further into the trip, I was just like, this. I will also post that video because we landed in Fiji and I thought, oh yeah, we're going to relax. And as I'm walking through the airport, there's a sign, skydiving Fiji. I'm like, I have to do that. Have to. I'm also extremely scared of open heights. I can fly a plane, but don't put me out in the air open because no. Yes, I've climbed the CN Tower. Yes, I've now jumped out of a plane. I don't know what happened. Something happens when you're not in your home country. Life just, I don't know. You just get an adrenaline that's like, now or never, do or die, go hard or go home.
Because you never know when you're going to come back. You have to. And if there might not be an opportunity, exactly, because life does do things, right? Finances might not be there. Situations might happen. You never know. Now you're an adult and you're saving for things and you've got to make these sacrifices. So yeah, we landed in Fiji, saw skydiving in Fiji. I was like, yeah, I've got to put that on the list. It turns out the only day I could do that was an hour after I landed. Because the way the schedule was, so when I got to no time to even like back out of it, just jump in.
Well, I was in the back of the taxi, falling asleep on myself. Like, am I really about to jump out of a plane? We got there, get in the plane. We're supposed to be scheduled at something like 9,000 feet, but then the clouds were clouding, so we had to keep going higher and higher and higher, and ended up at 10,500 feet. And I was fine until they opened that door. And literally any video that you've seen of somebody skydiving, when they opened that door,
it's like, and then you feel that rush of cold air.
Yeah, everything leaves you. Every single thing leaves you. The door opens and your whole body just goes with it. And you're like, wow, I'm really going to jump out of a plane. But again, for anybody that's been following me, 2019 was like my most successful year, but it was also the year that tried to break me. Like halfway through, I lost my older sister. And I really didn't know how I was going to continue doing life. Like, honestly, did not know how I was going to continue doing life.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to be able to sit down with her and say goodbye to her because she was sick for quite a while.
Okay.
So the week leading up to her death, every single day I was, in the hospice, just talking to her about the plans that I wanted to do and how beautiful. How I was going to be able to do it, if I should be able to do it, everything. And then when we got that door open and the plane, like, it's like, okay, if I die, then at least I can say that I died doing exactly what I love. I don't want to be known for anything else. For anybody that knows me, I don't want to be known for anything other than she did exactly what she set out to do in the 30, 40, 50, 60, however long I'm on this earth. I just want to be remembered for, she said she was going to do it and she did it.
And she did it. I love it. I love it. Yes. That's such a
jumped out of the plane. I know, right? Jumped out of the plane and halfway through we're coming down and I'm like, I actually did it. Like, nobody can say anything to me, nothing else now.
Right.
And then I moved to Canada and I was like, oh my days, what? Like, just believe in yourself. That's all I will say to everybody. Like, if there's anything you want to do in life, even if it's outside of traveling, anything you want to do, just put your mind to it, manifest it, and it will happen. And
absolutely. I went skydiving in Dubai for my birthday, for my 29th birthday. And this year will be my 39th. So I'm kind of thinking, like, maybe I should go back to Dubai and just, do this little 10-year thing. Like, 10 years ago, I jumped out of a plane.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, the whole week leading up, of course, you do your reservations, and then they tell you how much you have to weigh in order to do the tandem jump. And that whole week leading up, I was just like, okay. Like, I try to psych myself out to think of it like I was going to just an adventure park, getting on a roller coaster, the whole 9 yards. And I got on that plane, and I was so calm. I was the
Really?
calmest, I think, even to this day that I've ever been, because I was just,
Wow.
I think because that whole week, every single day, I was like, okay, it's just gonna be like Six Flags. It's just gonna be like, you know, the whole week. So they opened up the door. The one thing that I was not prepared for was how cold it was. So I had on a tank top because, of course, it's Dubai, it's hot. So I'm like, I had on a tank top, and they opened up that door, and I was like, so I'm sitting there shivering, and they're thinking I'm scared. And I'm like, no, I'm actually really cold, but I'm calm. But then we walked to the door, and the lady who was attached to me, she goes, you don't have to do anything. I'm going to jump, just, you know, and that's when all the fear hit me. The whole time I was fine. The whole time I was too cool for school. I was just cool breeze, just sitting there. I'm okay. Got to that door and put my little toes, and the video shows me going like this. And then she jumps, and then like the first like 15-20 seconds, I'm just eyes closed like this, the whole 9 yards. And then finally she taps my arm for me to like open my hands.
Yeah.
And I open my hands, and I'm like, oh, this is
It's
pretty
not
neat.
that bad, right? Listen,
At
do you know what
all.
I wish I knew? Anybody that goes to do skydiving, don't try and look pretty for your pictures or your videos, please.
Right.
Because my
Right.
face is doing something else. Because I was like, oh, just smile, Jen. Watch me. The wind is taking everything. I'm like, oh,
Face
that's
is moving.
why. I'm like, that's why everybody looks like this. And I'm there trying to look pretty in mine. So forgive me when I post all of this stuff. Just forgive. I'm not looking my prettiest in any way, shape, or form because I was overthinking the pictures. Just enjoy the moment. You're falling from however high you choose to fall, and just when they tap you though, you're really like, what are you tapping me for? Oh, it's now?
Right.
Okay. And
Now,
then
how
you
did they
come
have you
down so
land?
calmly.
Yeah. That was the part that I was like, how am I going to land? That was
terrible.
so easy.
No,
Oh,
all
no.
of my landings have been terrible. I did hang gliding in Brazil for my 29th birthday.
Uh-huh.
My landing was so terrible, they had to give me my pictures for free because I landed face in the sand. You're the professional. Why did your legs take the sand and now we're both face first? I don't want, no.
Oh, no.
My landing in Fiji, the coming down was fine. But when you get into the sand, no. I'm glad that you had a good landing, but I didn't have a great landing. It wasn't traumatic though, but a landing definitely could have been better.
Oh my gosh. I did. So the lady who was connected to me, she was like, all right. She's talking to my ear the whole time. She even had a time where she let me kind of steer it a little bit. That was fun. And then she's like, all right. And when we come down, as soon as I say run, you have to run when I say run. So I was like, okay. So I'm over there, like, I'm following directions. Like, I'm going to do exactly what I've been told. And as soon as she said run, my little feet were like, and when I hit the ground, it was literally like I was just walking. And
really?
I landed standing up. And I was just like, oh, that was great.
Listen, I should have brought a notepad. Tomorrow I'm going to literally update all of these posts because my Brazil landing was the worst. The guy is literally on top of me. We're in the sand. You told me to run. So what were you doing? Because I was running. I don't understand.
I don't know. I just ran.
I don't know what he was doing behind me because he told me to run and I did exactly what he told me to do, but apparently he had a bad knee. Even from up top, I was like, boss, are you sure you're going to be able to do this? Because hang gliding, you have to run off a roof and then go. I'm like, are you sure you're going to be able? He's like, yeah, we're fine. We were fine to go, but that landing, X. Never again.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that I've never done. I've never done that.
That is like parasailing.
Okay.
So calm. So
really
calm.
okay.
Very,
I love parasailing.
Very chilled. Like just you're taking in, especially I did it in Rio. So you're just looking just for bushes and favelas for days. Just like, can we go this way? Can we go this way? Like it's serene. And I did it on my actual 29th birthday. So that was
nice.
Yeah. Again,
I love it.
It's like I knew that something was coming in 2020 because everybody was, you're 30th. I just ended up on my 30th in Dubai on the beach by myself, middle of COVID, because I was like, well, I'm not gonna stay inside. London was closed. It was raining, like rail rain, like cats and dogs kind of rain. And 2 days before, I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what I can do. Took my first PCR test. It came back negative, and I'm like,
I'm
Let's
out.
go. Yeah,
I
let's
love
go.
it.
Listen, I never packed my suitcase so quick.
I love it.
Never packed my suitcase so quick. And honestly, to this day, I can't tell you how that birthday ended. You see all of you people that follow me that keep it saying to drink, well, it's wicked. I did a poll and was like, oh, should I do 30 shots today? Thinking the people were going to say no. They said yes. Why would you say yes?
No.
I'm by myself. Why would you say yes? I also have personalized shot glasses. I forgot I should have brought those. Personalized shot glasses. So each shot was a double shot for the day.
Oh my goodness.
I was fine I was fine for a good while until maybe about 9 or 10 p.m. I was good. And then I went to meet my friend, and then I can't tell you how the night ended. I cannot tell you how the night ended. It ended in a search party. Her coming to the hotel, the receptionist wouldn't tell her she's there. My phone is on do not disturb. I'm waking up to how many messages and calls of, Jen, are you alive? Did you make it? Come on Instagram. Everyone's like, you didn't do your key in the door. Did you make it? I'm like, guys, I'm sorry. I made it, and I woke up fine. My clothes is over there. Lost my bank card. Shoes is over there. I'm good. I can't tell how the night ended. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Don't know. So that goes down as the best birthday, one of the best birthdays, because if you don't remember how it ended and you were by yourself, then kudos, right? Yeah, I don't know. I look back at my life and I think I've really done some things that I don't know if I could tell myself to do those things again.
Right.
I don't know if I could do it again. Like some of the things I've thought about, I've done. I'm like, does this make sense?
Right.
Like using here, for example, I came here in 2019 in the summer to play maths. By myself. That was fine. But again, if you're from Trinidad, if you've been to Trinidad, there is nothing in this world that compares to Trinidad Carnival. Nothing. So don't expect it. I came here thinking, okay, I'm by myself. I'm going to do the responsible thing. I'm going to fet until I can't fet no more. And on maths day, I'm going to drink until I can't drink anymore.
Oh my God.
Get on the road to find out that I can't believe I live here. There are alcohol laws. You can't drink alcohol on the road. Not even not even on Caravana Day. So
wow.
Oh. So you can't, this is too much. You can't have the liquor in your car. It can't be open. Like there's just so much going on. So I had my big champagne bottle ready to fill it with alcohol. When I get to the truck and it's only water and coconut water, I said, wow. Not even a juice. Come on, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So obviously I was sober enough that the next day, the CN Tower is the tallest building in the city, and the excursion is the Edge Walk. And I was like, oh, okay, let me see if I can do that. I still haven't uploaded that because that video makes me cringe.
Really?
Everybody, is 6 of us. I was the only black person. I was the only solo person. But them white people was gone on the edge. And I'm like, to do what? From where? No. Out there. I was like, no, I'm just going to stand here. I'm good. They're like, no, you can't. Because you're all clipped to the rope. So everybody has to move.
Are you put together?
Yeah. Like, you're all clipped. Like, they can give you space between. Because obviously I was by myself. So they can unclip you to take your pictures and stuff like that. But when you're walking, you're all walking together. And I'm like, oh, if I knew this, I was not going to do this because now you guys have to wait. And I'm like, okay, I'm over the edge. They're like, no, look. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Hi. I couldn't do that again. I go past it pretty much like maybe once a month because I don't live downtown. And I look up and whenever we're driving, I'm like, guys, how did I do that? Because I look up at that needle line and I'm like, no, I would not do that again. But there's a friend here that I keep telling her in the summer we're going to do it again. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but she needs to do it. Can't live here and not do it. It doesn't make sense.
Right. Well, I mean, when you have somebody around, then it's not so much a group project where you're just by yourself and the rest of the group is like, hey.
Exactly. Let's all, be stupid together. Let's all, forget about life for 10 minutes and go and live life,
I love it.
But
my gosh. What else is there to do out there?
Here, I mean, I guess, again, when I thought about coming here, I realized the culture is very, on brand. I need that. I need to go where I can feel at home in terms of people, in terms of communication, in terms of liaising. I already sound different, and before I came here, I was like, oh man, I'm really gonna try and sound Canadian. And then I came here, I was like, no man, you know how hard my parents worked to leave where they left for me to be born in London, for me to lose my accent. It can't happen. But everywhere you go, everyone wants to take the mick. And I'm like, I don't sound like that. Water. I'm like, I don't sound like that.
Is that what they do? Like everywhere,
Yeah,
like this?
like,
Yeah,
I'm so over. The jokes are so lame.
I would
And
imagine.
my
I would
poker face is
imagine.
not a poker face. You'll be laughing. I'll be like, next. And they're like, oh, no, just no. So
It
yeah,
would be worse in the US, I'm sure.
I don't know. I feel like US people are a bit more cultured than these Canadians. Yeah, innit? Like no one speaks like that. And you know what it is? I have to keep saying to them, sorry to anybody that is not from the diaspora. This is a diaspora talk. We've just finished Black History Month. Like we are Black women, so apologies, right? But I'm Black British. So whenever they're speaking, I'm like, what show did you watch? Because if it's not Top Boy, then it doesn't relate to me. You're telling me about Peaky Blinders. I've never watched that. I'm not from there. I don't do what they do.
Yeah.
I don't sound like those people. You have to come to London to understand that we are Black British, and we know, thankfully, most of us know where we're from. Because most of us were born there. You know, our parents have left their home countries, whether that's in Africa, whether that's in the Caribbean. Most of us have gone home. Most of us spent our childhoods in the summer in our home countries. So whenever you try to take the mick out of it, I'm just showing you, this is just my passport. It doesn't mean anything else.
Yeah.
This is just where I'm from, you know? I sound like this because this is my environment, not because this is what I believe in or this is what I stand for.
Right. And I think it's so interesting because you hear one thing, but because we hear it as a different accent, people don't stop to think and say the same way Black Americans and white Americans speak completely different in most places is the same thing that you're going to experience in Great Britain, in the UK.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But I think we just automatically hear the accent. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, Simon Cowell.
Yeah. And it's like, of all the people you want to relate us to, like, okay, could you give us Idris Elba? Because big up my Sierra Leoneans, please. He is representing for us. You could do anything Idris and I would take that. But you're giving me Simon Cowell and all of these other people that I'm like, you realize I don't watch these shows. I'm not interested in what they stand for. I'm not from that era. I just live in their country. If all of us could go home or at least take our money and set back home and set up the children there, we would all do that. But not everybody is going to have that opportunity in life. So you just have to make do with where you are now.
Right.
When I came here, I really realized, wow, like I have to identify as a British person because my parents really did leave their home country to set up a life for their children in this wealthier country, more developed country for better opportunities. So why would I try to sound anything other than what my parents have worked hard for? I understand that if I choose to have children here, they are going to be Canadian.
Right.
But you're going to know where we come from because I'm going to take you home.